Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to PSGL Season 26. This is the F2 tier, and we are at round number 10 for the Chinese Grand Prix. The championship is definitely going down to the wire here, and we should be in for an exciting final few rounds of the championship. So we're going to have a look at the track then first of all before we kick off the introductions. It's 5.4 kilometers long and it has 16 turns with 2 DRS zones, one at the start finish straight, and then we got one on the back straight as well. So probably those two are going to be the potential bits for overtaking here today. My name is Jess, and joining me as per usual, we've got Dan.
Hello everyone, and hello Jess. Cannot wait for this race. Of course, China is a pretty challenging track, and some of these guys might not like it, some of them do. One thing I do know is that this track is really good for the pad, so we could see some guys on the controller who might not perform so well at the early parts of the season really come to their element in this track.
Exactly, and if you were watching last week's race, well, where have you been? If you didn't watch last week's race, it was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed every minute of it. And we saw Greeny take his first win of the season, which was absolutely incredible. It was great to watch. He was lucky with a safety car, to tell you the truth. However, there is nothing more he could have done, and he's made some really good moves on the outside of 130R. And if you have not checked my Twitter page, then you probably have missed out, and it was absolutely fantastic. And a lot of people going for very brave moves as well. Pat got his first podium of the season. Compassion got his best result of the season. There was a lot of... This was a race where we had a lot of bets, didn't we?
Yeah, and of course we had an all-German podium, which I'm sure they would have all loved to have seen. Of course, CC Brain picking up the win in that one. It wasn't Green, it was his teammate. Just needed to correct it there, but really well done.
CC Brain, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting really confused.
Yeah, but yeah, he did so well, and I do apologise that my mic wasn't as good last week. I hope it is better this week, but I was sitting really far away, but now I have got it improved, so I hopefully will be all right in that regard.
Yeah, we hope so, fingers crossed. And, you know, the strategy should be interesting as well. Maybe a few people doing soft to hards, maybe mediums to hards. We'll talk about a little bit about that later on. But looking at the drivers' standings, Shizu Tomato, 71 points separate him between him and Faz, with I think it's a 6 or 7 point gap between them. Then we got Will, then Greeny, then Dario, then Lakitu, CC Brain in 8th due to his win last week, then Hadler, and then we got Big C, Pat, who's climbed all the way up into P13, and then we got Name Changer Skivan, Imoti, Compassion, Bugatti, Bennett, and Shapalili, and a lot of people were missing from that because obviously they haven't scored any points. Gornanen was very, very unlucky last week. We thought he was going to be on for a podium, even a win, but unfortunately it just did not happen.
Yeah, he really did have the pace, and he was fighting with the championship leader Tomato, and neither of them had a good result. The safety car really did throw their race out the window, and of course, Fortune just did not go their way. It was so unlucky for them. Of course, Gonan was actually in a points paying position. He was one of the leaders, and then unfortunately he dropped out of the points due to penalties. So really a race to forget for the Flying Finn, but of course he can bounce back. He knows he's got that pace, so I'd expect him to have a good one today.
Yep, indeed. So in a minute we're going to be going through on board a lap with we may as well go on board a lap with one of our seven-time PSGL champion, Big C. And for those of you that noticed, we've got a bit of a nice overlay going on here today, showing us going through all the laps. Now, I'm trying to go through all the PSN names at once. I've still got quite a few to do because I have to do it manually, so that's why I'm doing a few as they come along. So Hadler's on pole at the moment. We could expect people to go into the 128s, I would say, in qualifying, maybe 129s as well, but I think we're going to go way beyond the 129s. And just to let you know, we've got 2 reserves as well. Shapalili filling in for Cedric, Louis filling in for the other McLaren as well. So Big C green in the first sector, so not quite purple compared to the likes of Shapalili and Dario so far, but looking really good in sector 2 right now. I may as well get the lap data turned off because you don't need that anymore, as he's a 27.3 in the middle sector he goes then. So let's see what he does. Coming into one of the next DRS zones. And he's got no ERS. I don't think he's going to go for a lap by the looks of things, but I'm guessing he just wants to get a little bit of a feel for the car. Nope, he's got DRS. So is it normal to have no ERS on your banker lap, do you think, Dan?
Definitely not. He would 100% be pushing here. So I think Big C is probably going to go for another one or just dive it into the pits. He's knocked it up into hot lap, so definitely going to go for another run here. He might have made a mistake and he's actually invalidated his run, and that will put him invalid for the next lap as well. So that has pretty much halted Big C's plan. He probably just wanted to get a feel for the track on his out lap and bank a lap and then go for a proper push there. But the mistake did not work out for him, and I've just seen you've left the session.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened there. I do apologise.
I can get you an invite if you need one.
Yes, please. Thank you. And you could do a little bit of radio commentary whilst I try and get in. I do apologise.
I've just got to send the invite. Hang on. PSN's been really bad lately, so it might take a little while. Oh, no, it's all right. I'll watch. Who should I watch on a lap? I've got Bugatti on a run at the moment. He's actually just spun the car coming through the second sector split there, so that's going to put a swift end to his lap. We've got name changer just coming up towards the end of his lap, and I believe that you've just rejoined, so get in as soon as possible and you can take over from me.
I'm trying the best I can.
Yeah, but just at the moment, everyone seems to be coming in on their in-laps. I think Will is just putting a run, but it was not a fast time at all, a 1:39 flat, so definitely off the pace. So he's going to 100% improve on that one. He had a good race last week out, Will did. Of course, I believe he was one of the drivers that did get caught out by the safety car coming in quite late. But he did manage to take 5 points, and he actually closed up to both of his championship rivals who scored pretty much minimal points. It was a really... it was a crazy race, actually, that we didn't really expect. It was a bit like Italy this year, where we had the podium being drivers who have got pace, but they've just not had the opportunity to do so well. And that really did throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah, it did. And we may see something similar here as well. But, China's known for its changing weather conditions. I've seen it in quite a few leagues myself, but probably we may get something different. We'll have to wait and see, but we haven't had any groans from the drivers in the chat, so looks like we're all good in terms of the weather front, I have to say, in terms of what we're going to experience today. So I'm pretty relieved about that, as most of the races this season have been wet affected, apart from last week where it was a dry quali and a dry race, where the last few sessions, like was Vietnam, and the one before that had a session where it was quite nasty as well. And there was a full wet race, I believe, in Silverstone too, which I experienced a couple of weeks ago. So let's hope we don't see a full wet here today, but you never know. Nikita, last week's podium sitter, is on his out lap at the moment, and he's hoping to score points for Renault, who are currently, I believe, second in the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, of course, the result from Lakitu last week really did boost their championship challenge, and now with Rafa being out of the picture, it's going to be a lot more difficult for the Williams team to pull away like they did, because Rafa was just so dominant against everyone else. Just in the Constructors at the moment, I will just mention the gap between the two. So it's Williams on 146 and then Renault on 142. They got 5 more points than the Williams team did Renault, so they did close in just by a little bit, but that's 44 points separating the two teams. So the challenge is certainly not over, with 5 races left in the season. Only 5 races left on the calendar. It's flown by, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I mean, it's been one of my favourite seasons. It's both the first of our seasons that we've ever commentated in PSGL. None of us has commentated on PSGL before, and they're definitely not disappointed, as Lakitu has invalidated his outlap. Now, Bugatti's only joined a few seasons, a few races ago, but he's not doing too bad. He didn't score any points last week. We had a double DNF from the Mercedes drivers last week, which is a bit of a shame, but he's got a lot of points to prove. He's one of the F2 champions of seasons past. He was F2 champion last season, and obviously we got Will, who was F2 champion season 23, and Tomato, who was a champion in season 24 as well. So, it is basically a fight for who is going to be the best of the F2 champions. At the moment, it's looking like to be Tomato, but we could see Will catching up. Will, I believe, is only 3rd in the championship, so Will is going to be hunting for that best title, and maybe he can win the Season 26 championship. That's how close it has been so far.
Yeah, and of course, with the Champions of Champions championship, a lot of champions there. It is Will leading the way, and then I believe it's Tomato in second, and Bugatti in third in that respect. But we've got the Mercedes driver. He's got his teammate ahead of him of Big C, who's just put in a lap. I hope there was no slipstreaming going on from those two. Because it is banned this season, but hopefully we see Big C get out of his teammate's way into the hairpin. He goes, yeah, he's just going to pull off to the right hand side, make sure he's not on the apex or anything, and that was a nice way to let his teammate go through, as he's actually backed off on this lap. I don't know where he backed off. He might have just backed off right now, but I thought he was pushing, and unfortunately he's not going to put a lap in this time by.
Nope, he is not. Now there's a few people still yet to set a lap time as well, and the softs, I'm quite surprised a lot more people are going for the soft compounded tyres. We did see someone that's spinning off. Not entirely sure who that was, unfortunately. But yeah, I think we could see a lot of tyre temperature issues today. The back end's going to be a little bit of an issue. ERS management's going to be tricky as well. There's a lot more straights to manage, and turn 1 to 3 is going to be quite difficult for the brakes as well, so you've got to warm up your brakes a lot in the formation lap and under lap 1, to be honest. So I think due to the fact that there's only 5 more rounds to go of this season, I think a lot of these guys that are not in the championship, that are teammates, they're going to be, I think, playing the wingman role, I've got to say, whereas I think obviously Imossi joined very recently, so he's going to be helping Tomato. Lakitu, I'm not entirely sure about Lakitu. Maybe he wants to try and gain as many positions as himself, because even though Faz is leading his teammate away, you know, what would you do if you were in Lakitu's situation? Would you want to help your teammate out, or would you want to go out and fend for yourself?
Well, realistically speaking, if I were Lakitu, I would be playing the team game here, despite he's had some good results in the past. He is 33 points off the championship lead, where his teammate Faz is only 5. So I would probably try and play the team game here, and then try and help Renault and the constructors rather than holding up the teammate. But of course, that's all up to Lakitu. He can do whatever he pleases, and yeah, he's got pace, so he can probably fight his teammate and not get hurt too hard by it. But I'd say he's out of the championship hunt. I'd probably only say about 5 drivers can realistically win the championship at this point: Tomato, Faz, Will, Greeny and Dario.
Yep, that's what I think so as well. So something to watch out for. Dario is definitely a bit of a dark horse. Dario only joined, like, again, halfway through the season, and he won quite a few races. Well, I believe he won 1 race, which he did really well in as well, and he played one of the strategies that you probably weren't expecting to. I need to try and actually see which race he won, because it's been a long time ago. He won in Italy, where there was quite a lot of things that happened in Italy, I've got to say, but you know, it is, again, it's not over for him, but I mean, he may do a Lewis Hamilton on us and say, right, I still have a shot of this championship, or maybe do a Vettel in 2010, like we said last week. Do a Vettel in 2010, not lead the championship until the final race, because don't forget, it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that Dario is a dark horse in this championship. He seems to be either in a really good point playing position or not in the points at all, so he doesn't fend for the lower positions. It's either a win or wall for him, and I do like that mentality. Also, we haven't actually seen him in the wall. We have seen him retire once this season in the Netherlands. I don't quite remember what happened to him in that race, but at the moment in qualifying, he's doing really well for himself, considering most of his championship challenges are further down the order. You know, Greeny in 12th, Tomato in 13th, and Faz in 15th, Will all the way down in 17th. So this could look good for Dario in his championship hunt. He is pushing at the moment on a lap, so if we could probably follow him, that would be pretty good.
Who was that, sorry?
Dario, he's just coming through the hairpin now, and he's got a Mercedes car of Bugatti just ahead of him. Bugatti does seem to be on a lap, but he has invalidated. So coming through the final corner now, they are being told, "Oh, come on, you're
he's invalidated." I was just about to show if he was purple, but no, he didn't show on our lap. So that was unfortunate. IGK Kurax has done exactly the same thing. He's gone into the pits as well. So quite a few people invalidated with only 3 minutes left to go. I'm trying to see who's actually on a lap at the moment that I can go on board with. Name Changer has invalidated too. You know, to be fair, I would have invalidated quite a bit around this circuit already. So, yeah, a bit of a shame for Name Changer, but he comes into the pits for his final lap. Imoti is on a lap, and I just lost connection again. So that's not good. So, I think I've got some spare invites, so I'll try and get in again. PSN has been having some issues recently, so we do apologise.
Yeah, so whilst you're doing that and trying to get back into the session, I'll just do some more radio commentary. We're just flying through the middle sector at the moment on board with the Emotis. Look pretty clean on this lap so far, just short shifting up the gears, coming up towards the second sector split, just at this little mini straight up towards the long sweeping right-hander. He is 2/10 up, 2¼ tenths up on his previous time. This could see him shoot up into the top three, and now opening it onto this long sweeping right-hander, and now onto the longest straight on the circuit. You don't get DRS until about halfway down, and now opening it up, you see the rear wing wide open, getting him that extra bit of drag reduction, and now into the braking zone just before the 100-meter board, locking up heavily, running quite deep through there, and now just a little bit of oversteer correction on exit, and now up towards, you want to brake just under the Armco there, and now on the exit he's run it pretty nicely through there, and now up to the line. Iamotti got fourth fastest, so he lost a little bit of time in the third sector, but it was a really nice lap, and now second row lockout for IGK.
Yeah, that is pretty good indeed for IGK. We got last week's winner, CC Brain. I think I've just gone in, so into the session, so hopefully we are all right in that regard. So CC Brain now is going up to sector 2 now, and he's got a little bit of traffic as well to contend with at the moment, but I think he's in the right position, so at least he is going to be all right in that regard. He's purple, well, he's green in sector 1 at the moment. We're going to see how he is with the sector 2 split coming up potentially very soon as we go towards the hairpin now. I usually get things messed up in that chicane as well. He's green again, so not quite purple yet. I don't think he's aiming for pole, because he didn't get pole last time, and he still went on to win the race. So anything is possible for the Ferrari driver. He's going to have a little bit of a tow from Golonen. I don't think that was meant to happen. That might have gained quite a bit of time in the slipstream as well. So we'll have to wait and see, of course. We've got Kurats as well. I think this is going to be quite a clean lap from CC Brain at the moment. So let's see. That was almost an invalidation. And it's a 129.094, which puts him into P3. And he gone purple in the final sector. That means everything for CC Brain.
Yeah, it was going to be that slipstream that he got from Golonen. Obviously wasn't intentional, because you're not allowed to do that in PSGL, so Golonen would have been getting a penalty, and why would he help CC Brain? He's not his teammate, so wasn't intentional from Golonen. CC Brain did take advantage of that, which he's probably at liberty to do, and Lakitu, the second driver to go into the 1 minute 28 4,000th of a second off of Pat, who's gone on pole quite early in the session actually, so must be that confidence that they have gained throughout when getting on the podium last race.
Yeah, by the looks of it, it is. Maybe Pat is using his motivation that he definitely needs, and I've just disconnected again. It's not liking me today, is it?
It really isn't.
No, I think what I might have to do is, it may be due to the overlay program that I have that's causing too much data, so if it carries on like that, I might have to stop it, which is a bit of a shame, because I was hoping for a lot more to happen. It wasn't playing up earlier on, so yeah, luckily I've got one spare invite, so hopefully I could just join in yet again as quickly as I can. So sort of sorry about this, guys, for the technical issues.
I could probably send a couple extra invites just whilst we're loading into the race, just in case it's causing issues later.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I'll try and get in very quickly. So, yeah, it is a bit of a shame that I'm not getting the stuff that I need to at the moment. But luckily, with I think the overlay stuff, I get to change it. Right, so Ski Van has retired from the session, and unfortunately, we can't see who's gone purple really, potentially apart from Big C. As Big C, I think I've just gone back in the session, which is all good. Golonen has retired as well. Shapalili is on pole position. We've got Dario in second place. Louis has retired from the session. So I think that's it. Apart from Lakitu. So no, Lakitu's done as well. I think. Yeah, everyone's done by the looks of things. So
yeah, I think we're at the end.
Yeah, we are at the end of the session. So yeah, that is unfortunate.
I was watching M&T Louis just finishing up his lap, of course, his first race in season 26, and he was just coming through the final corner. Seemed like he got a snap of oversteer or something of the likes, and he went into the wall. So yeah, that was an unintentional retirement from him, and unfortunately that put an end to his lap, which he looked like he was improving on, not by too much, but it was definitely an improvement there. Yes. I'm not too sure if I can hear Jess at the moment.
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted. I don't know why there. So anyway, Shapalili in first, Dario second, Pat in third, Lakitu fourth, CC Brain fifth, Will sixth, Hadler seventh, Emotti eighth, Gonen ninth, Kurat seventh. Then we got Louis, Benny, Compassion, and I didn't see what was going on later on, earlier on as well. So I'm probably going to do a few things to make sure that the thing is sorting out. But it looks like we got a dry session, so that's relief.
Yeah, now with that dry session, we are probably going to see everyone outside the top 10 starting on either mediums or the hards. I'd probably expect them to go onto the hards, run hards to the medium tyres, and have the OP alternate strategy, of course, that is so prevalent on this game. And China is one of the most dominating for that strategy. So we're probably going to see that whipped out for a lot of those guys starting outside the top 10. Probably was due to some drivers sandbagging. We saw a lot of drivers who weren't actually where they really should be. So I think it's because they want the strategy and they are going to push for it in this race.
Yep, exactly. So we're just waiting for the final few drivers to ready up, and we are about to kick off then this race. And it looks like obviously the top 10, they will have to start on the tyre that they set their fastest lap on, which is the soft compounder tyres. And then they will have to, the people outside the top 10, they can start on whatever tyre that they want to. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. And I think quite a few people are going to be opting for quite a few different things right now. So we've got Louis. Let me just change scenes, actually. Give me a second. So we've got Louis on the mediums, Benny on the mediums, Compassion on the hards, Fads on the hards, Tomato on the hards, Greeny on the hards, Big C on the hards, Bugatti on the hards, Skivan on the mediums, and Name Changer on the hard compounder tyres. So that is what everybody is on at the moment. So who do you think is going to win this race? What is your prediction?
Well, who is the leader on the alternate strategy? That is my question.
That is Louis.
I think hards to the medium is actually a better strategy choice because as the race goes on, the hards get better and better. So running later onto those, then going onto the mediums right at the end. I think it might be Compassion to have a really good race. Faz as well and Tomato, but Louis and Benny certainly not out of it here. And of course, some of the guys at the front of the grid, I would definitely expect to be towards the top. And yeah, that's I can't really give you a definitive strategy based on prediction based on where they are, because this track is just so unbalanced when it comes to the strategy. It's just the alternate strategy or broke.
Yeah, well, we've seen last week in F1 as well the alternate strategy work as well, but we technically saw the alternate strategy work last week, but there was a safety car, so, you know, anything can happen in Formula 1, and I think these guys are going to prove that anything can happen, and we could see a few surprises. So a few facts about this track before we get on with the race. First held in 2004, costed $400 million to make, and this is the track where we also saw Nico Rosberg took his first win in Mercedes back in 2012, and we saw Michael Schumacher took his 91st and final F1 victory here on this very circuit, and we well know who actually got the same amount of wins this weekend. It was Lewis Hamilton. So there we go. So we are about to get started with this race. I hope you're all ready for 28 laps worth of racing action here today. So the 5 red lights about to come up on your screens right now. Everyone's got their overtaking button poised. Are we ready to go racing? We've got Chapelini on the right and down on the left, and it's lights out and away we go. Good start for the pad and good start from the racing point of pads. They all make through the sweeping pass turn 1 as well. Pat trying to cover on the outside of Dario, then into turn 2 and into turn 3. Looks like a majority of people have got away. Okay, watch out for this middle bit of turn 2 and 3. But I think no damage is there. They all made it through very, very cleanly. A few people have already lost positions though. Dario, though, is on a charge though to get Chapelini in P1. Don't forget, Chapelini is a reserve in this league. And if he can prove himself in this race, he can very well be full-time if someone drops out.
Yeah, right now they're going 3 abreast coming through the long left-hander. That's 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. And somehow they all came out of that unscathed. Kurax and Will still going side by side, and Kurax trying to hold him around the outside. There's contact between the two of them. Kurax has to go off the circuit using the runoff, and here's someone coming up behind. It's Hadler on Iamotti. Not Iamotti. He was trying to have a look on Will, so they're all getting quite racy in the early parts of the race, and it was all kicking off further back down the order because they're running 2 by 2 by 2 like Noah's Ark.
Yeah, but it is like Noah's Ark at the moment for these guys. And Will, don't forget, he's got a championship to contend with at the moment. And he's down in 7th place. So he's got a lot of work to do. But he is probably going to sit back a little bit. He's found a lot of traction going into the hairpin, coming towards the final few corners as well. Hadler has got the move past Motti then into that same hairpin. And Hadler is up into 8th place. Golonen is trying to get the move past Benny. I think Golonen was almost went off the circuit there, so Golonen has dropped a bit. Unfortunately, some of the cars are ghosts. I can't tell who they are at the moment, but I did see... no, it is Chapelini that's still leading. I thought someone took Chapelini for the lead, but no. Chapelini is still leading this race with Dyer in 2nd, Pablo in 3rd place. I'm trying to see who's in 4th. It might be Lakitu. No, it's not Lakitu. I'm not entirely... It's Pat. So Pat has dropped, no, Pat's in 3rd, Lakita's in 4th, yes, I was right. So hopefully those things change pretty quickly. CC Brain is trying to make a move past Lakita pretty soon, but he can't do it yet due to the nature of these corners coming up here as well. But I could see, Dan, quite a few people be very brave tonight just to try and get some extra points in this championship.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not too many places you can realistically overtake. There are a lot of places where you can definitely have some great battles, and I'm pretty sure that some of these guys are going to commit to doing that. I think the timing screen is a little bit glitched at the moment, as Chapelini's had a really good start at the moment. He's just got Dario catching up behind him. No DRS, of course, on lap number 2, but Dario's had to use quite a bit of his ERS to actually keep up to the reserve driver tonight, and they're both coming through the hairpin now, and you can see how he's closed up visually. Of course, no timings for the very least, and they're still just squabbling further down the order. I can see them all hustling and jostling for positions.
Yeah, they are as well. Obviously, Dario being fastest at the moment, so he's already faster than Chapelini, so he's going to carry that momentum into the rest of this race. He's going to have DRS pretty soon. There's only 2 DRSs on this very circuit, so a little bit less to worry about if I was in Chapelini's shoes. But we're starting to see the train from basically Chapelini all the way down to, I would say, last place. No one has been making any mistakes at the moment. No one has gone in into the pits to change any front wings, which is quite surprising, to be honest. So well done to these guys for providing some great battles so far. You've got to be within a few attempts. There's a few guys. I mean, Lakita's out of DRS range. That is not good for him. That's going to allow CC Brain to sense an opportunity into the next DRS straight coming up very soon at the start of Sector 3.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, they're all really close together. The field spread is about 12.5 seconds between 20 drivers, so that is quite something else. And now DRS has been enabled So it will give the opportunity to Darren to close up to Chapelele even more. These two just seeming to run away from from the rest of the pack, and meanwhile they're still squabbling. I think Gononen's gone off the circuit, and Gononen's spinning around on the exit as he's going to come back onto the circuit. Luckily he's ghosted, and that could have been catastrophic if he came back onto the racing line and hit everyone. Meanwhile, Tomato's sailing past Louis there, and Louis is going to try and fight it back into the hairpin. So with the DRS being enabled, they're all starting to squabble just that little bit harder.
Yeah, I think that's what a majority of people are doing, to be honest, and this is really great to see. I did say that they could be taking a few more races, and that's what a majority of these guys are doing. Tomato, though, our championship leader, is only in 10th place, but he's going to be very happy that Faz, his championship rival, is down in 19th place, not having a good race at all. And I think the only championship rival he's got to worry about in the grand scheme of things now is Will and Greeny LFC. So Greeny LFC is down in 13th position, so he's lower down. So Tomato is only behind Will at this stage, so he's not going to lose too much points on those hard tyres, and he may prove, Toxic may prove that the alternate strategy could work around China. I did see, I think, around F8 as well, someone who had a qualifying ban still managed to go and take the victory after starting on the alternate strategy and made it work. So it could be possible for Tomato. Maybe he was watching the F8 race last week and saw it could pay off for him. And we are at the crossover point now. The softs are losing its optimum pace at the moment, so we could see more people starting to struggle with certain whip, and we can see guys on the mediums and the hards such as Tomato, Louis and Benny start to come into their own and start to catch up to the big train that's forming at the moment.
Yeah, one driver I think is struggling a lot at the moment is Kurak. He's just lost position to Will on the straight, and he's going to brake a little bit later than the AlphaTauri driver. They're going to go side by side on exit here, and now coming up towards the final corner. It looks like Kurak's had a much better run, and he's got the inside line for the next corner, but I think Will has dived into the pits, and yeah, that is lap number 5, so I think that is time for most of the soft runners to start pitting. We will see some of these guys come in very, very shortly, but yeah, Kurak beginning to struggle a lot. He's really dropped off from the top 5, and he's going to be holding up Hadler and Toxic Tomato, which is going to be reeling them in every single lap.
Yeah, I think so as well. Kurax is, I think, he's just losing a bit of tyre temperature, and you can tell his tyres are starting to struggle with the wear and everything at the moment, and you know, that is gutting for the Racing Point driver, but there's still a long way to go in this race. We're not even halfway into this race, so you never know. He could, I think if I was him, maybe pitting now, responding to Will, because you're getting stuck in this traffic, and then try and respond to the people that could be pitting, but not. Because the hards, they could last quite a bit in this Grand Prix, and I'm actually going to just check when the predicted pit window is going to be. It could last 23 laps around this circuit. So lap 5 to 7, the pit window opens now. So as Kurat is struggling with his tyres, he needs to pit, otherwise he's going to be held up so much. Hadler's going to go past him, and I'm almost certain Tomato is going to go past him as well. Tomato is going to go past Hadler at least, going into the straight here, which he does. And we can see Hadler trying to cover him off there, but the cameras are not showing it to the full effect at this stage. But we can see Hadler trying to go and make for the switchback, and he goes into the pits as well. And Kurat's can read my mind, Dan. He's in the pits. We also got Dario, Pat, Lakitu. Pretty much quite a majority of people on the softs have pitted, apart from our race leader, Chapelele, and last week's race winner, CC Brahim.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, of course, those two are going to be the slowest drivers on the circuit based on tyre life alone. So it really is going to be crunch time if they want to come in this lap just to cover off the charging just Tomato now, Shazoo Tomato, because he is on those hard tyres and he's going to be running a lot longer into the race. And we've got some yellow flags through Sector 1. I'm trying to work out who that is. I don't see anyone that's gone off. So it might have just been a visual glitch there. Or it might have been Lakitu because he's behind Will now.
Yeah, it probably is Lakitu. He was struggling on those hards, and the hard tyres, they take a long time to warm up in this circuit. I've known from experience due to my team as well. And, you know, Will, I think, has probably warmed up the most, and probably he didn't have the benefit to warm up his tyres because he's in that dirty air with Will. And if there's a track where dirty air is not helpful, China is one of those tracks. So Lakitu has got to Move out of the way of Will pretty quickly. Try and get that move. Try and go quickly on him. He's gained a bit more speed heading into sector 3, so he should be absolutely fine there going on to this back straight. He's going to get DRS, of course. Will, unfortunately, won't get DRS. We've got Chapalili and CC Brain into the pits then. So Dario, at the moment, your net race leader out of the ones who appeared already with Pat and Net second. Can the likes of Chapalili and CC Brain capitalise on it, as both of these guys trying to do as fastest pit stop as they possibly can? So Chapalili comes out. It's a pretty good pit stop for him. So is CC Brain as well. It may be close for Chapalili, but for CC Brain, I'm not entirely sure what is going to happen. So Dario is ahead of Chapalili by the looks of things. Yes, he is. So the undercut strategy is paramount around here. He's got past Chapalili in the pit stops. So I wonder if these guys are on the hard compounded tyres and on a similar strategy like Greeny, Bugatti, Compassion, out of this group, you've got to be thinking about doing the undercut.
Yeah, and it has worked a treat for Dario here. Now Chapalili is only saving grace at the moment. It's that he's just within DRS range of the Alfa Romeo car, who has shown his pace. So if he could just stick with the Italian, he could probably be happy with his race. But he's really beginning to lose out just a little bit, 1.1 seconds now. And he's looking like he's struggling at the moment with the tyres. I think that Louis is going to be under pressure from Greeny at the moment. We saw a lap earlier him lose the position to Benny, and now the Ferrari could take advantage of the vulnerable McLaren now moving to the inside line on the Frenchman. It's an easy move into the braking zone. He moves across him to cover him off. There might have been a little bit of contact, and actually Louis is going to go for a little switchback move, and now they're trying to go side by side, but he's going to have to back out there. Greeny is going to move into third position, Louis down into fourth.
Yeah, Louis lost losing a bit of time, but this is his first race. He is a reserve, and he's not doing too bad on those medium tyres. He's the second slowest out of the ones on the mediums at the moment. So he wants to try hard to try and get past the Ferrari driver, but there's no means feat. Greeny is very experienced in this tier. Obviously, he is the league admin, as well as CC Brain as well. And again, apologies, I got both of these mixed up in the intro earlier on. I was trying to sort out multiple things at the same time. It just got very, very confusing. But anyway, we've got Bugatti then, who is right on the back of Louis. I think we could potentially see the crossover point start to emerge for the mediums now. The hards are definitely going to be the faster tyre if you've been on the mediums for this long now. The pit window is lap 11 to 13, but we can see the mediums being a lot slower from now on. Don't forget the softs were slower on lap 4, a few laps before people were due to pit. So this just goes to show that you've really got to be on your A game, otherwise you're going to lose so much time being held up in a sandwich, just like Louis is doing at the moment. Louis is probably going to be on his A game, maybe going to the pits. The hards can go to the end from here. It's probably not what he wants, but he could have advantage of his rivals, try and get in some clearer air, be on fresher tyres. We can see Bugatti trying to get past him, but with that dirty air, unfortunately can't get past. Oh, Louis made a mistake almost. That was close there, but I wonder if Louis is going to go into the pits now. Nope, he's not. He stays out for another lap, so I think he's going to keep the strategy that he was going for a long time, but will this come back to bite him later on in the race?
Well, only time will tell. Meanwhile, there's a battle going on for 11th at the moment. Of course, the front row of the grid belonging to Chapalili and Dario. Chapalili, the German, found his way past the Italian up towards the hairpin turn number 15, if I'm not mistaken. And now through turn number 1, Dario's going to be on the back foot here because he's now got to negotiate past the McLaren. And if those two want to be fighting for the win later on in the Grand Prix, they really cannot afford to be squabbling for the lower down positions, because all it's going to do is make them lose time. But it looks like at the moment Darren's just going to back off from Chapalili, not going to try anything too stupid to get both of their races completely over and done with too early. Hitting an early shower would not be what they'd like. So yeah, just got to back off and try as hard as you can to get to the end.
Yeah, they've got to, really, to be honest, because otherwise it's going to cost them more time than gaining, really. But Dario knows how to win a PSGL race before. We've seen him in Monza. Chapalili has won quite a few league races in the past, but just not at this scale. Don't forget, it is a line-only tier, so it's a different experience for him, but he's used to it in some other leagues as well. So we'll have to wait and see if he can handle the pressure. But just look at that straight line speed that Chapalili is carrying in this back straight at the moment. He is doing ever so well going towards turn 14 right now. At the moment, it's around about 5 tenths, but Dario is gaining on the corners. But I think Dario's going to benefit more from Shapalili due to the fact that there are more corners around here. But Shapalili's going to gain time on the straight, so it's really important to find that balance. Skivan goes in the pits, but meanwhile we can see Bugatti getting past Louis there into turn 3, and that is the position gained for him and a position lost for Louis. And he decided not to pit. I'm guessing he's probably going to regret that decision now.
Yeah, but he could probably go for maybe 1 or 2 more laps. Then that is going to be a sweet spot. But that was a great battle that I was just witnessing there between Bugatti and Louis, running side by side throughout most of the final sector and, of course, the opening parts of the lap. So Bugatti eventually did come out on top, and that really does go to show how much the medium tyres are going off at this point. I expect Benny, who's actually doing a pretty good job keeping away from Green. He seems to be socially distancing from everyone else on the grid at the moment. But yeah, Louis really beginning strong with the tyres, and I do think that it is the crossover point. The hards will be quicker than the mediums that have been going on since the beginning of the race. That is probably definite at this point.
Yep, it is. I thought it was slower already, but that was for the likes of Louis that are quite slow anyway. So, but for the ones like Benny and the ones like, I think it's just Benny actually. I think Greeny's going to gain just a little bit more time, which he is at the moment. So Benny is going to do the undercut on Louis, which is going to try to. Louis will have to respond, which he doesn't. That's going to lose him more track position at the moment. But here comes Benny. I think he's going to go onto the hard compounded tyres, which he does as he's waiting for his garage. A few of the pit crews are ready to go with their medium runners as well. The hards are going to just wait just a little bit longer. And the hards, Dan, they have a benefit. They can either to see how long the hards go on to. It lasts for about 21 laps. If they think they could stretch to 21 laps, they can go on the softs, or 22 laps. But if they think they can't last that long, they can go on the mediums. This is going to be a big decision for the likes of Name Changer, Big C, Compassion, Bugatti, Greeny, and Tomato. Tomato's your race leader, 3.5. You don't want to be making a mistake where, if you can get your tyres to last that long, then. But we'll have to wait and see. But what would you do if you were on the hards in that situation?
If I was on the hards, I would probably opt to pit a little bit earlier, go onto the medium tyres, because the softs really don't have much pace for too long around here. So realistically, it's not a viable strategy. So I'd probably opt for the medium tyres at the end of the race, and then run to those and be quicker than all the hard runners who have been on their tyres for a long time. But this train getting larger and larger as the laps go by, and it looks like Faz is right behind Name Changer, but just that DRS effect that is being allowed to him is not allowing for Faz to get past because of the DRS and slipstream from Big C. These guys are all kind of just conjugating the same bit of tarmac, and they could have a brilliant fight coming up soon. But then Name Changer, the same is for Big C, because he's sitting in the DRS of Compassion, who's really dropped off actually from Louis and Bugatti. There might have been a mistake from the Alfa Romeo driver. But yeah, they'll all probably have a great fight later on at the end of their tyre life.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very exciting. We've seen some great battles at the end of PSGL races before, and I think we're going to get exactly the same as well. We're already seeing, Dan, as well, that ERS usage, starting to come down for pretty much all these guys. A lot quicker than I thought. Name Changer going for a brave move past Big C there, and I think he'll be pretty happy with that as well. So Name Changer up into 6th place on the track at least. I wonder what's going to be when these guys have pitted, of course. So Name Changer is now really close to Compassion at the moment as we go past this the final back straight of Sector 2. Let's see what traction he gained on exit. Quite a little bit actually, but I think Compassion is going to get better straight line speed getting the DRS, and Name Changer will get DRS luckily, and so will Big C too. But Faz is getting ever so quicker on Big C. Both of them trying to leave as much space as they can. But Faz just being ever so quicker, being a tenth behind Big C there. It was basically inevitable. Faz got the job done, and I think Big C didn't challenge that at all. So Faz up into 7th position now, and Faz, he's got a championship to win, and he wants it badly. So he wants to try and get these positions as he possibly can. We are seeing, though, some pit windows pop up. So we are seeing Faz potentially going on to the medium tyres. So you think he can't go onto the softs. And we are seeing Louis that just pitted onto the hard compounder tyres. A few laps earlier than I thought it was going to be. But we will see. But this train is getting ever more exciting with Compassion, Name Changer, Faz and Big C as well.
Yeah, and it was a really great move on Big C. That Name Changer made. It was kind of your classic open lobby dive bomb. You know, if it works for them, then it can work for the pros like Name Changer. And it was a really clean move. And he just thought, you know, if the window is open, I'm going to go through it. I'm not going to wait for it to be almost shut to make my move. So it was just a great opportunity for him. And now he's on the back of Compassion. He seems to be really have come alive in the later part of his stint. And now coming up towards the second sector split, he is right on the tail of the Alfa Romeo car, and a big lockup from Compassion there. It'll be interesting to see who's going to get the better exit. Both the RS situations seem to be pretty similar, but this time by Compassion is a loser. He's lost a lot of time to Name Changer. He's about 5/10 back, half a second from the Alfa Romeo, but now the DRS is open and we're going to see that gap rapidly come down. Name Changer could go up the inside here, you know. He's gaining, and now into the braking zone they go. He's going to go side by side into the hairpin, and it is a job well done from Name Changer. He covers off the switchback, and now Name Changer into fourth position. What a move on Compassion, who's just going to lose a little bit of time, get the DRS, and now a 3-second time penalty for the Dutchman. Not going to be what he wants from that.
That's definitely not as well. Don't forget, time penalties can make a difference in this race. We seen this last week. Pat getting less penalties than the majority of these rivals. He got a podium out of this. We could see a second podium from Pat this race. He's in a net third at the moment. He's still driving ever so well. I'm going to try not to jinx it. CC Brain could be on course for that as well. As we got our first retirement, unfortunately, of Kurats as he's retired from the pit lanes. Well, I assume he's had enough after the trouble he's had earlier on, which is a bit of a shame, but he's done the right thing. He hasn't retired on track. Let's see how he does in Bahrain when we head there next week. I think we're in Bahrain next week. I need to double check that at the moment. We've got another yellow flag in sector 1, but that is probably just his AI going out. Yeah, it is his AI going out. I can see it on the track map. So Tomato still leads on track with Greeny in second, Bugatti in third, and then we've got another train of Name Changer, Compassion, Faz. Shapalili could be on the back of this as well on his fresher hard tyres. Shapalili does not want to be held in this battle. He wants to make sure that he's clear of that, because otherwise Dario and Pat could see this as a great opportunity to snatch the win off him.
Yeah, meanwhile, just further up ahead, up the road from Chapelele, all Compassion going really deep on the brakes, and so did Faz. They both pretty much outbroke themselves, but now Faz getting the switchback move on Compassion. He's going to lose the position to the Renault car. They've made contact. Faz going off the circuit, almost putting it in the gravel. Chapelele now going to have to get closer to those guys, and he will have DRS on Faz, but there was a little bit of a touch there. I think that Faz just turned a little bit too early for Compassion's liking, and it was just it's so unfortunate. It does happen quite often, and a little bit of miscommunication between the drivers, and unfortunately it led to Faz with his brilliant overtake pretty much being completely undone, and both of them losing time to Name Changer.
Yeah, Name Changer must be loving this as well. It's going to help him when Name Changer goes into the pits. He's going to have a nice comfortable gap between these two as well, but I think Shapalili is going to be a bit worried as well that Faz may make the same mistake on him, but we shall see, of course. Shapalili and actually, apart from Louis, Shapalili has already been scoring a lot more points than the other McLaren teammates, both Cedric and Luke as well. Both of them can't make it here tonight. Luke not scoring a single point this season, and already Shapalili already showing why he could deserve a full-time seat in PSGL in the future. Maybe next season, in season 27. Don't forget, China hasn't been around on the calendar for a very long time. Season 23 was the last time China was on the the PSGL calendar. I think it was round 2, I believe, as well as Shapalili's hit the back of Faz. Oh my goodness, so both of them's got damage. Shapalili will have to pit, Faz will have to pit. That is not good for both. Actually, no, they're not pitting. There might just be minor damage, but it looks, well, Faz has to pit surely, but I think Shapalili, he could just carry on like no tomorrow. But yeah, Was Faz going to pit anyway, or would he wanted to wait a few more laps just to get his head into gear?
I think he might have wanted to pit because everyone else was coming to the pit, so it probably isn't too harmful for him, but going to get that wing change is not going to help his championship challenge. I'm a bit confused how Chapelele actually went into the back, because from what it looked like, the Faz actually outbroke himself and went into the back of Compassion. There was a little bit of contact between him there, and then Chapelele, I just went on board of him right as he made contact, so I didn't quite see him go straight into the back of him, so to say. I don't know how he did that. He is known for his mistakes, unfortunately, despite being a really quick driver. So this is not going to help his confidence. And hopefully he can still get some points out of this race, because he has done really well, like in qualifying, but now he's going to be dropping like a stone in water. He's got Pat right behind him. Should be an easy overtake for the German driver.
Yep, it should be at the moment. Chapelele is trying his best to defend, but there's nothing more, I think, Chapelele can do, unfortunately. So Chapelele will have to solve for P3 in this race so far, as Tomato goes into the pit lane. Look at that gap. 17 seconds is the pit loss. So Tomato's not going to be that far behind Dario when he comes out of the pit lane. So this could prove our theory that the alternate strategy could work for Tomato. Maybe not. I was just getting my hopes up, as Tomato is dropping down to, I think, around 4th, 5th place. He's going to be on the mediums, though, and he's right behind Lakitu as well. He's going to take a while for his tyres to warm up, but he's still going to be in a very good position to try and fight some podiums. He's, I think, about 2 seconds behind CC Brain as well, and about 4 seconds behind Hat too. So this is going to be intense for Tomato, but if there's a chance for him to gain points off his championship rivals, this is the opportunity. Will his rival is right behind him, so is Faz now due to the contact, and so is quite a few other people as well. I wonder if some of the other guys should have pitted there and then, but yeah, well done for Tomato for doing what he did. Game on for him. This could be a championship changing moment if he gets these moves done.
Yeah, and the first of which is going to be the key to coming up towards the second sector split. Of course, he's not going to go for a move through there. Pretty much be suicide for him. But on the straight, it's going to be absolutely crucial. He needs to get past these guys who are going to be slower than him as soon as possible. And he's going to burn up some of his ERS and overtake. And now opening the DRS down the straight. First of many for Tomato. He's going to go up the inside of Lakitu. Lakitu's not going to try and fight this. The alternate strategy has worked a treat for Tomato. 6.4 seconds is the gap to Dario, and that is just going to come further and further down each and every lap. And I think Dr. Tomato could be on for an absolutely scorching drive.
Yeah, the loss between the softs potentially and the mediums, only about 7 tenths of a second, well, even all 6 tenths, so it's not that much compared to the softs, where the hard you lose so much more time compared to the medium. So Tomato, this could be game on for him as well. We did see, I think, Imossi trying to go for moves as well past Will. So Imossi is up into 6th, Will down in 7th. We've got another person on the alternate strategy as well, Greedy, trying to make some more positions past his rivals as well. We've got Will and Imossi there. Hadler in a sandwich with Bugatti as well. Name Changer has got a lot of work to do. Big C has just pitted a few laps ago. Big C was the one who pitted the earliest out of all the hard runners, and nobody on the hard tyres have gone for the soft. So I think it just goes to show that the softs around here towards the end of the race, there's just no point going on it unless it's like a safety car.
Yeah, and it is pretty much suicide if you do go onto the soft tyres. So the mediums is the best strategy. We saw Greeny just swoop by on the inside of Will, and he could make it 2 drivers in one lap. But meanwhile, that is Tomato moving up into a podium position ahead of CC Brain. So the Ferrari drivers making moves. One of them going the right way, the other going in quite the wrong direction. Now the gap is 4.9 seconds, and that was over 1 lap. It was about 6.5, I want to say. Now it's 4.7. That is just that is insane how quick Tomato is on circuit right now.
I'm not sure how many penalties Tomato's got at the moment. Again, I will check in a second. Meanwhile, Greeny definitely going the right way again. He's made another position. He's gone past Emotti and up into 6th place. So Ferrari, they're going to be scoring some good points in this race if they keep this up. Ferrari are third in the constructors standings. And then we've got both of the Renaults. Faz is not going to be scoring any points. Lakitu is probably only be scoring, because don't forget, first place gets 16. And then we've got, I need to try and remember the points tally. But yeah, it is quite different to what in normal Formula 1, which means the points are a lot closer together. But Lakitu will probably want to be scoring more points than that. But it's not long to go to this race. We've got not 10 laps to go of this Chinese Grand Prix. I almost said Bahrain Grand Prix. I do not know why there. But Tomato is on the... Well, basically, he is the browsing horse at the moment. He's purple sector 2, and he's going to probably get fastest lap of this race if he keeps us up. Maybe if this strategy works in China, he could try it in Bahrain as well. Bahrain, a similar type of strategy, I think, for these guys. And I don't think Tomato's going to make the move on this corner, but he's going to make it towards the pretty much the start-finish straight, maybe heading towards turn 1. So just look at the time he's gained now. He's around 3 tenths. Dario would want to hope that these two keep battling for so long because he can stretch that gap a little bit more.
Yeah, but now coming on to the start-finish straight, DRS open for Tomato, and Pat's not even going to fight this. Coming up towards turn number 1, he's got clear. The gap is 2.9 seconds. He's just got to be as consistent as possible. 9 laps to go left in this Grand Prix. He could be on for a brilliant win. Meanwhile, Skivan and Benny going side by side. Looks like Benny's run really wide coming through turn number 1, and now
Chappellelli's
has retired,
out.
and that is not in the pits. He's lost the car. We could see a safety car, and there it is.
He calls it. That was... there's nobody coming towards the final corner. It looked like he binned it in one of the... either the left-hand wall or the right-hand wall just before the start-finish line. I don't know how he would have done it on his own. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, this could prove game-changing for pretty much all of these drivers. What would you do if you were the likes of Dario? You're going to be in safety car conditions. In non-safety car conditions, the softs can last 7 laps. They're going to hope that the safety car is in for like 2 or 3... Well, the safety car is out for 2 or 3 laps. And then you should be absolutely fine. Otherwise, you're going to probably be a little bit worried. Like, you know, it's going to be a tough decision. Maybe some of these guys will go for the gamble for the soft tyres, see how it works, hope that everybody doesn't catch up to the safety car that quickly, and jobs are good, and then you could get that win. We could see a similar strategy to last week. Tomato probably didn't want that safety car. He probably had the win in the bag, but unfortunately, he's going to see the likes of Dario and Pat pitting on... No, Dario's not pitting. Neither is Tomato. Neither is Pat. Neither is CC Brain, Lakitu. No one's pitting. I thought a lot more people will be going on the softs, but I'm guessing they don't want to take that risk, and they know that the softs are not good around here. I did see Will going to the pit. No, I did see someone going to the pits. That's Skivan, not Will, sorry. And a few penalties in the bag, but I think it's too early to go on the soft. But do you think Skivan will want to try the gamble and see if it works?
He might go for it. Let's see what tyres he's putting on. It is the Red Bull tyres going off Skivan and for Name Changer. All these guys outside the top 10. Why not take the gamble? You're not going to lose any points by pitting. You're losing track position, but you're going to get that back pretty easily. Of course, mandatory 2 laps. The safety car has to stay out for, so we're going to have this lap and most likely next lap as well. And that will put us out onto circuit with 6 laps to go. So these tyres can definitely make it. I would say that it'll be rough towards the end for them. But now that the track is more rubbered in, they probably have a little bit more longevity for them.
Yep. It lasts longer in safety car conditions because you're not going at full pace at the moment. Remember when we've had a safety car for quite a bit, and the races that had safety car, with most of those safety cars, we've had different winners. Will in Belgium, CC Brain in Japan. I don't know. We don't know. I think all the top 4 are penalty free. And Tomato could still have the race win in the bag because he's on the fresher tyres compared to everybody else. If everybody else pitted, they would have lost track position anyway. Dario's already trying to warm up his tyres, and Tomato keeping it steady at the moment. As you can see at the moment, it's not going to be that long before it comes in, because we're just waiting for Gonanen, I believe, to catch up to the safety car. Actually, no, we still got Big C, Louis, Faz, and Gonanen to catch up. So 4 cars, and then we're going to probably be going racing. But I'm still trying to think, where would Chapolini retire? I think, from what I've heard, Chapolini and Faz made contact, and I believe it could have been in the wall on the left-hand side that we're going on board now. On the left. Well, on the left when you're going on board, on the right when you're going outboard. But there we go. So I think that's what happened. So I think Faz would have. I think Faz pitted anyway, but at least he's got damage out of the way anyway. So I can't call who's going to win this race. I think it's going to be to see who has more pace, to be honest with you, and who has chosen the right tyre to stay onto.
I really think this is still going to swing the way of Tomato. I don't think that Darry's going to be able to hold him off too much. I think the driver that this has helped the most is Greeny, because it is bunched up all of the hard runners in front of him. He could be on second place by the end of the Grand Prix if he just times his moves right. It looks like the Germans coming out in full force. Of course, the podium last week was Pat, CC Brain and Lakitu. They're now running 3rd, 4th and 5th. So we're starting to see a bit of a dynasty. And I'm just trying to think when the last time we saw a German dynasty in F1 was. We've had quite a few, haven't we?
What, German wins? Ooh. Because obviously Rafa's a German. And I'll need to get the... Unfortunately, one thing that we forgot to put on our spreadsheet of what nationality they're from. Which is very annoying because we should have... next time, what I'm going to try and do is probably make a note of them when we're in the lobby, which will give us a little bit more of an idea. But we do see quite... I think Pat's definitely German because of his last name. I don't know. We could see... We may see... And I think obviously we know what Tomato's nationality is as well. Yeah, I mean, this will be insane if you think about it. German dominating in China. We could see a different nationality dominating in China. We'll have to wait and see. But is it me or the safety cars come in? Because I haven't seen the safety car thing pop up, or I might have just been looking at the spreadsheet. That's probably why. Did you see the safety car thing pop up?
Yeah, I did see it pop up. It's definitely coming in this lap, so it's up to Dario to now control the pace. It's his discretion as to when and how they start. He can go right up to the line if he wants to. Of course, no overtaking between between now and the start-finish line. Then they are free to go. The safety car is now in, so they are clear to go racing, but it is just up to Darren here. Now he's going to push, so he can't stop now, otherwise that'd be a false restart. We are green.
Yeah, we're going to be... Well, we're not green yet because we're not at the start-finish straight. Now we are green here in China. And Dario had a really good restart off the line. But if that's going to really help him on these final few laps. But we know Tomato's going to be breathing down the neck at the moment. Pat's just going to be waiting there at the moment. CC Brain also had a good start. Lakita staying in 5th. Greeny staying in 6th. Not much changes happening in the top 10, but outside the top 10, Compassion and Name Changer, they're going side by side. Name Changer, don't forget, is on the soft compounded tyres as well. I think one of the second people on those soft compounded tyres, and he gets the job done. Next, we've got a battle between Lakitu and Greeny as well. Lakitu losing a place to Greeny. He's now down into 6th position at the moment. Hadler's going to be under pressure from Ski Van as well. Name Changer just got past Benny as well as all. That was close from Name Changer on Ski Van now, but kept it together as well. Let's see if Ski Van's going to go for a risky move again. I don't think he's going to go for a move yet. Don't forget, the DRS doesn't get enabled till 2 or 3 laps after the safety car gets restarted again. So they're only going to rely on the slipstream at this point. Here comes Ski Van, squeezing past Hadler into this back straight. And he's up into 10th place in the points paying position. And we've got Greeny and CC Brain, the Ferrari teammates, going side by side into turn 14. Greeny gets the job done. Tomato gets the job done into the hairpin as well. Tomato takes the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix, but how much longer? Dario's trying to cover him up, almost touching, but some really good racing from both of them as they go through the start-finish straight now. Pat's just going to sit there pretty at the moment, not cause too much of a trouble at the moment, as we can see. Still going side by side at the moment. Who's going to get the better run here? Going into turn 2 and 3. A bit of a lob tap there, but that is racing. And I think Tomato has just got that race lead. But well done to both of them. Some incredible racing from those two. This is going to be a great battle for the lead. If Dario keeps up with Tomato for the majority of this race, this could be a very good result for him.
Yeah, and meanwhile, further down the order, Skivan not wasting any time. He's made a good number of positions on those soft tyres, utilising them to their full extent. And now he's got Bugatti just up ahead. He's not going to be too troubled with the he might actually be a little bit more troubled with the overtake because it is the medium tyres. And meanwhile, Name Changer trying to send it on Will through an unconventional part of the circuit. He's going to try and dive it here. He's known for his dive bombs, Name Changer, and he goes up the inside. Will makes a switchback, and that was a bit of a rash move from a Name Changer. It hasn't worked out for him. Meanwhile, Greeny is going to get into the slipstream. He's not going to use any of his ERS just right now, so I don't think he senses an opportunity to get by Pat at the moment. And meanwhile, Skivan gets by Bugatti. They're all making moves down and through the order.
This is great. This is what I like about league racing. All of them pushing to the absolute limit. And you never know that a safety car could change all of this at this stage. Name Changer getting past Will once again into 10th place. DRS is now enabled for these guys. So a chance for everybody to try and gain the most possible position possible. Dario could sense an opportunity to try and get Tomato again in the final few laps. Greeny, I think Greeny's going to get past Pat no matter what happens. But again, we don't know about penalties. They may have not served Socko. The majority of these guys have only pitted once, apart from a few towards the back that pitted either twice or 3 times, either due to damage or the safety car. Pat with a bit of a lockup, so that's going to help Greeny gain some more time. We've seen Ferrari score really well in this league. We could see here that's the same today. Skivan has gained another position. Skivan is on a charge. He's up into P7, and he could get Lakita for P6 as well.
Yeah, it seems like turn number 5 is his real hotspot for overtaking. He's just been sending moves around the outside of the Yamotti that time by, and now 2.5 tenths is the gap to Lakita. So coming into the braking zone, he is improving on his time. He is just absolutely rapid at this point. Definitely one of the fastest on the circuit. And now this is going to be where we're going to see most of the overtakes take place, because opening it up onto the long straightaway, it looks like actually further up ahead, we've got Greeny for 3rd position at the moment, trying to close in on Pat, and now looking to the inside line. We go Greeny, the Ferrari car, is going to move up ahead of Pat. And meanwhile, look at this, there's Skivan going up the inside of Lakitu. So Skivan has really nailed this restart, and the soft gamble was so worth it.
Yep, it is at the moment, but how would it benefit towards the end? But I think it can be worth it as well, because obviously of the safety cars, so it can pay off. 8 tenths behind CC Brain, and I didn't see what Skivan's penalties as well. So Skivan be on course for his best result in the long run. Don't forget, Skivan has been in F2 the longest out of any driver at all. He hasn't had the best results as of yet. He hasn't had much luck, does Skivan, in the AlphaTauri, which is a bit unfortunate. He's had DNF for 4 races in a row. His best result was Belgium, where he got a P6, and Spain, where he got a P5. All the other races were either no point or DNF. So he definitely deserves this if he could get past CC Brain right here and right now. And he's still got Pat, Greeny, Dario on his, well, actually, yeah, Pat and Greeny on his sides as well, not just CC Brain as well. So he could be fighting on for good points here, on for his best result of the season. He just can't afford to make any mistakes now.
Yeah, could be on for a podium at this rate. He's just catching at a rate of knots at the moment. But now onto the straight. He's probably not going to make a move in through here, but anything can happen. And he's actually gaining by quite a lot on CC Brain. But yeah, just the DRS is really bringing CC Brain along. So he's not going to make a move coming in through the hairpin. But he has been allowed to catch up. And the Name Changer still trying to keep up with his fellow soft runner. But he can't find a way past it. Lakita, and they're still skirmishing all the way back. I think I saw some damage coming off from a McLaren car.
Louis, I think. Was it Louis? Yeah, it was Louis, because Chapoli's out the race. Oh, yeah. Careful, Louis. He almost hit Benny, but yeah, I think I'm trying to see if he's got damage, but it's really, really hard to tell from there, from the car. So we'll have a look at that in a second, as yeah, Gonan's gone past. So yeah, Louis is probably having a terrible race at the moment. Meanwhile, Greeny, he's got past Dario, and Pat. So and whilst all this was happening, Greeny's up into P2 of this race. Could we see a race victory on the cards for Greeny? Could we see a Ferrari win a 2nd race in a row? I don't know. It's going to be hard, but he is gaining quite a bit. We got a yellow flag, but we're going to ignore that for a second. But yeah, Greeny is definitely on the charge as well. Skeevan is on the charge against the other Ferrari of CC Brain. Both Ferraris are going in all the right places at the moment.
Absolutely. Of course, I did say that it would have helped him, and I think Benny's lost the car. He's got some wing damage, so he's just not. He's had a bad race again, and unfortunately, that is going to be any points off the table for him. Meanwhile, further up ahead, seems like Skeevan losing a bit of pace to the guys ahead. He's not really closing as much as he was before, and I think it is at the point where the softs have completely gone off, and now we begin the final lap of the race. Tomato just has to bring it home one more time, and he can continue his championship hunt.
Yep, but the tweet that we seen earlier on said that he needed some luck here tonight, and I think it's the first time in a while where we haven't jinxed people that are on tweets, which is really good to see as well. I think Skeevan with the dirty air is not helping him, and yes, the crossover point was, I think, about 4 laps, I think, after they'd been at full pace, and we're already been at 4 laps full pace on the softs for Skeevan. So yeah, that's why he's struggling at this moment in time. I think the same with Name Changer as well, with a few lockups there from him. So I think Lakiti's going to stay behind Benny. Unfortunately, he decides to retire from the pits, and that is his race over. Gonano is done the same thing. He is out of the race as well, but we're on the final few stages of this race now. 3.3 seconds. I think he hasn't had any penalties, but I think he's trying and get the fastest lap, which is still possible because mediums are the fastest tyre at the moment. Greeny LFC is going to be on for a perfect second place of this race. He's been known for scoring a lot of podiums this season. We could be adding another podium to Greeny's list.
Yeah, absolutely. Just coming up the straight, the final time. It is just one on, actually 2 more corners to negotiate for Tomato. He scores points in every single race, despite all of his mishaps and skirmishes with other drivers. He really has deserved this win, though. It's his second win of the season. He's going to cross the line. He's going to extend his championship lead. Tomato wins the Grand Prix, and just the cherry on top. He sets the fastest lap of the race. Well done to the Welshman.
Yep, indeed. No penalties for the top 6. They all stay where they are. So we got Dario, Pat. So Dario and Greeny getting a podium. Pat in 4th place. And not a good result for him. He'll be very happy with that. This momentum from last week is going forward for him. CC Brain in 5th. Lakitu's 6th. We got Amotti as well. Bugatti getting some more points. Both the Mercedes getting points after their result last week. Will, 23 laps on the hard, still gets points. I mean, that's still pretty good for Will. I think he wanted a little bit higher to help his championship hopes, and driver of the day on the screen is showing to be Toxic Tomato. But I think I've got to say, Dan, I think I'm going to have to agree with the graphic for a change. Tomato drove superbly today.
Yeah, and a lot of that is going to be contributed to the alternate strategy, but at the end of the day, it's not about the strategy or how the car is set up. It is about the driver, and he has proved that today. He takes the win, and he is celebrating his 2nd race win of the season, and now he brings the championship toll to, if he would be on now 80... Wait,
well,
he'd
so
be
it's 16
points at the
yeah,
moment.
16 points.
Sorry, 8... Yeah, 86.
So wait a minute. So, yeah, 86.
How?
Wait, 16 points. So,
oh my goodness.
Wait, so I need, well, let's do some maths in a minute. Anyway, let's go through your results then first. Because otherwise, the graphics man are going to find it hard to do the results. So anyway, Tomato is in P1, Greeny 2nd, Dario 3rd, Pat in 4th, CC Brain 5th, Lakiti 6th, Emossi 7th, Bugatti 8th, Big C 9th, and Name Changer in 10th. Will just missing out on the point there as well. Well done to the top 9 for not getting any penalties at all. We got Skeevan in 12th. We got Hadler, Faz, Compassion, and Louis. And your retirements are Gonanan, Benny, Chapalili, and Kurax. Let's do some maths then for in terms of the championship punt. So that is another 17 points because obviously he got fastest lap. So it is 88 points. So he gets 88 points of this. So he got, the only thing he didn't get was pole, but he didn't care about that. He's got 2 things out there today.
Yeah, well, after that display from us, I'm glad that I didn't take maths for A-level because that was atrocious. I can't even add 17 onto 71. But yeah, 88 points is the the championship lead for Toxic Tomato. I can't keep calling him Toxic Tomato, so I'm just going to call him Tomato now, and that will be definite. So well done to him. What a drive from him.
And what a drive from Greeny as well. I called Greeny CC Brain earlier as well, and I think that might have paid off. So Greeny, you can thank me later for what I did wrong at the start of the stream. That helped you with the positive jinx there as well. So that is going to promote, I think, Dario and Greeny up the championship standings as well. Unfortunately, we didn't get the overlay to show a bit longer than we thought, but it was worth a try anyway. You may see it in a future stream, maybe in F1 or in Trovo, but probably not in this league until my internet gets better. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this stream. I've been JessGames95, and thank you, Dan, for joining me in the commentary box.
Yeah, it was great to be here again. That was another brilliant Grand Prix.
And make sure you join PSGL F1 and F3 as they're in the middle of their qualifying session around China. Not sure about the weather at the moment. I know PSGL F3 is nice and sunny. What about F1? I'm just hanging on. Oh, it is raining in F1. An intermediate qualifying, so we're not going to see the times we thought we was going to see, but it's worth watching nonetheless. So make sure you watch both of them, and we will see you next week for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Have a good evening, everybody, and we will see you soon.